Podcast. My name is Ray, and I got a guest for you today. I have a person that has been around the world, has been doing a lot of things in the acting field. I can't just call him an actor. I think he's definitely a performing artist. That means he has a versatility to the skill of acting and knows how to apply himself when he gets behind the screen or even on stage. So here is our guest, and he is about to introduce himself. So go ahead for us and introduce yourself to the audience.
Hello there. My name is Clark Harris. I'm a character actor, born and raised in Harlem, New York, currently residing in Nashville, Tennessee. Thank you for having me.
All right, man. I appreciate it so much here. So I guess tell the audience here how you first got started into the acting field.
Well, I'm a salesman.
Okay.
Um, I was selling diabetic supplies for about 6, 7 years, and it was a layoff. So I got another job selling health insurance.
Okay.
So I got certified and all of that, and was in about 7 states. Went to do that, and I was in the office and in Goodlettsville, and never thought about acting at all. I dibbled and dabbled in hip hop, little rap,
Mhm.
singing stuff. So I had an office, and another guy came in, shared the office with me, and his name is William Jenkins.
Okay.
We talked a little bit and everything, and I was letting him hear some of my music, and he just asked me, "Have you ever thought about acting? You got a nice voice." I said, "Nah, I never thought about no acting."
Mhm.
He sent me to an audition. He said, "I know some people in theater that's looking for somebody." And I thought about it. Best thing I ever did in my life. I went. And it was for a company called Dream 7,
Okay.
run by the late Michael L. Walker. So I went to the audition. It's like 8 or 9 people standing there. Now, mind you, I done rapped in front of 500,000 people without a thing. But when I had to stand in this room in front of 8 to 10 people and read from a piece of paper, you could hear the paper shake downstairs. That's how nervous I was.
Okay.
And I read it. And then he said, I heard you do a little rap. He said, do a little rap for us. I did a little bit of that. And he said, thank you. So I left, got in my car, and said, what the did I just do? Still nervous. So I just drove home. And then he called me back a couple of days later and said, we're going to make you an understudy. I didn't know what an understudy was. So I had to look it up. I was like, oh, I can do that. Somebody gets sick, then I come in. But,
Right.
who going to get sick? A week later, he called me. He's like, nah, you on stage now.
Mm.
He said, you rated good on your voice. I said, on stage, what? He said, you're going to be acting. So I tell a short story at our first, what do you call it, reading of the
Okay.
play. I'm sitting around with all these nice actors and stuff. I didn't know what I was doing. The guy next to me, he had his script and he had a yellow highlighter highlighting his lines. And I didn't know what he was doing. I didn't know nothing. I said, man, what you doing? He just snapped at me. I'm highlighting my lines. You don't know? I said, no, I don't know. I said, can I use that highlight after you finish? He said, yeah. Just snapping at me. I said, all right. So I get the highlighting and I kept on highlighting and highlighting. And next thing you know, I'm highlighting everything. I was like, damn, man, I'm the only one talking in this place.
Uh-huh.
But
I understand.
he ended up helping me out a lot. And I actually trained him today.
Oh, well,
So, because
so
I grasped on it pretty quickly and I highlighted my lines and I did the first play at a place called Dark Horse Theater off Charlotte
mm,
Avenue.
mm-hmm.
And the first night, I peeked out the curtains like a dummy and saw all these people in the chairs, and I started hyperventilating.
Uh-oh.
And then a girl came behind me and rubbed my shoulders. And another friend of mine named Rodriguez Springfield, he said, ain't no turning back now. Just go out there and do your thing. And nervous as crap, didn't know anything. We rehearsed and I read and read and read and got out there. The light bulb went on. I said, I like this. And I get nervous every time.
Okay.
I said, I like this. I did that first play, and every night I got more nervous. I think because I was scared of people looking at me and I didn't want to mess up.
Mm-hmm.
So that put a spark on me.
No, I understand that.
So, and I grew up in New York, Harlem, so I'm down on 42nd Street. I'm seeing cats and all of that. And I just thought theater was for rich people. Me and my friends walked down there to 42nd Street, you know, just hanging out. And I used to see the people over there standing in line in suits and dresses and gowns. Never thought about acting at all. Started late. I was 46 years old.
Okay.
And I've done more, humbly saying, than people that have been doing this for 30 years. Because when you got a passion for something,
Right.
can't nothing stop you.
Well, very, interesting here because you're one that will say got a late start, but there's been a lot of famous actors, actresses that have had, starts later on in their career because obviously they went from one career and they decided they had a passion to really do that, and then they just said, well, might as well do it now. What better time to do it is now? And I
Right.
understand that.
And then you got half the people that think it's too late. And I'm here to
Mm-hmm.
tell you it's not too late.
Mm-hmm.
You can still do it. Because when I made the transition from attempting to be a rapper, producer, I really wasn't getting anywhere, spinning my wheels. But if it wasn't for me getting laid off and that guy, William Jenkins,
Mm-hmm.
listening to me and sending me, and then I said, what the hell, I'll go.
Right.
That could have made all the difference in the world. And I'd just be a 9 to 5. But right now, if I didn't make that choice or somebody helped me make that choice, to just give it a try.
Perfect. Got a question for you here. Of course, the podcast is called Based on Characters. Give me a character that you portrayed that went like early when in your career that you felt like you really got it, and how did you really get into character?
Well, I'm trying to think of the name of the play where I played a wino.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's when I became free.
Mm,
Because
mm.
as you can tell, I like to sip a little bit.
There you go.
It was a play done by Dream 7. Rest in peace, Michael L. Walker. And we
Right.
did this play in a bar about 3 brothers and hookers. And the hookers, they would do their thing at night, but in the daytime, they would come to the bar to get their education and get their diploma. And I was the one that just came in the bar flirting and stuff. And I was one of those flies on the wall, so to speak.
Right.
And I won't do it now, but back then, I had a brown bag, so I used to put a little something in it. So I was
All
drinking
right.
for real because
Right.
at this time, I can learn lines in no time.
Okay.
My character was on it. So when I'm sitting over there drinking and people thinking it's tea, I'm gone.
You,
And not too much, but I never forgot anything because I was still nervous because I didn't want to mess up. And I thought the alcohol might have simmered me down a little bit, which it didn't. I
Okay.
didn't need it. And I found that out a few years later. I don't need it. I got the talent. I can just do it. But that was the turning point for me when I can't think of the play. I'd have to look on my resume that I was just, what you see is what you get. And it was great. And that was one of the turning points. But the biggest turning point that was early on in the career.
Mm-hmm.
But in 2014, I used to look at this thing called Playbill.
Mm-hmm.
Just looking for different plays. I'm thinking I'm good and everything. And I sent a video audition. I saw something in Playbill in New York, Classical Theater of Harlem, for Romeo and Juliet. Knew nothing about Shakespeare. So I said, I'm going to try out for it. I got it. They hit me up 2.5 months later, said, you want the role? And I'm from Harlem. And it's Classical Theater of Harlem, so I got to stay with my mom. I was down there. We did 19 shows. And my friend Rodriguez, he told me to go to No Fear Shakespeare and find out what they're talking about. See, I'm a good actor, so I faked it till I made it. And I asked the director, I said, why'd you pick me? I ain't been acting that long. He said, because you was raw. I knew you didn't have a grasp of the language, but I knew you could do it. That was the biggest turning point in my life.
Okay.
To be around New York actors,
Mm-hmm.
being taught by Yale professors, people from all over, voice and teaching me. And everybody doesn't get that opportunity, but I took the shot. I said, all those people in New York, and you came and got me from Nashville. So I knew I was kind of headed in the right direction. And when I got back to Nashville, things changed for me. I started thinking different.
Okay. Well, okay. So when you start thinking different, well, I want to ask you something. You mentioned your resume. So what does your resume include? Like what type of plays, shows, movies include? And then tell me about the maybe the play or maybe the film or whatever that made you really start thinking different, that you was really good.
Well, I was thinking different from the very first play I ever did.
Oh, okay.
But when I got around other people that were I was around people in my first play that was doing it for a long time. But when I got into a different environment, I saw different things. Nashville is different from New York.
Absolutely.
I saw different things. And when I did the Shakespeare in the park with classical, it was like 1,000 people a night. I got to meet some stars that come up to me and said, you did real good. And I'm not a Shakespeare person. I just learned it and was a quick learner, and I just went for it. Every time you do something, my perspective, you change. There's been several things I've done that changed me. There's been several things I've done that I looked at as like, whatever. It was just something to do. When I did the TV show Atlanta, I mean, it was great for me. That helped me a lot to be on there.
Okay.
It didn't really change me. It just taught me that I can do more.
So it basically elevated you to think bigger. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
To not only think bigger, but to think everything is not for you. Then you get into the thought of, I'll do this part, maybe get a few dollars, but is it really right for you? is it going to help you go to the next level? Some people will do it when you start getting into the money to pay the bills. But what about you as a character? Is it going to help you catapult you to the next level? So that's my thinking now. As I turn down things that I won't do because I'm going through a process. I'm going down this road.
Okay. Well, speaking of turning something down, that's my next question. What was a role that you had to turn down when you just felt in your heart it wasn't for you?
Well, in this time, people say there's no small parts. You know, only small actors. And sometimes I tend to disagree with that because I'm going to stay humble with it. Some people just wanted to put me in something because of my name. And I don't have a big name. I'm building up to the name for LA, New York, Chicago. I'm trying to build that up. And certain things if it's going to take a lot of my time and I'm not eating, not money wise, but eating that meat, something that I can dive into. I've done all of the other stuff, the one-liners, the walk on stage a couple of times, say a few things and leave. At this point, I feel it's a waste of my time. You know, put me in a position that, not saying I need to be the lead, but I need meat. When people say they need to eat, they talking about money. When I say I need to eat, I need that focus. Because if I go in this room and I'm reading my script and I'm getting tired and I'm falling asleep, that's what I need. I don't just need to be seen. So yeah, there's been a dozen little things that they're little, but I've had to turn them down because it wasn't going to feed me.
Okay. No, I completely get that. Now, I got a couple questions here. These are about big roles. Speak to me about Fences. Yeah. Speak to me about that. Okay.
When I first started acting, a couple of people told me, even my friend in New York, he said, you know, you could be in the play Fences. I didn't know what the hell they were talking about. So the way I researched it, read the play. I said, I can't do this shit. It's too much. 3 years later, after I read it, I said, yeah, I want to do it. I think I auditioned once or twice, never got it. I tell you what, God wasn't ready for me to have it.
Right. Okay.
It took 10 years later.
You better preach.
From getting that meat. Fences changed my life. Because I was able to overcome such an abundance of dialogue and tell a story that, thank you to John Broyle, the director, Ken Dacey, the assistant director, and all the other people that helped on it, and all the other actors around me, Alicia Hamer, Kenny Delisha, Devontae, Deontay. I mean, all of those guys, Cameron. I mean, it was...
Shout out to them.
It was an experience that I'd never experienced before. And the work I put in for it was like running a marathon, to the point where I almost quit. But the reason why I didn't quit goes back to my days in Harlem when I joined the Marine Corps. And
shout out to Marines. Okay.
I'm in there doing my thing and I wanted to quit. I said, if I quit and go back home, What's left of my name? What they gonna say about me? That was the driving force. Fences broke me totally down. That's why, and that's another reason it's hard for me to just do some fly by night stuff. Because I said, if I can do this, I can do anything.
Sky's the limit, right?
Yes, sir. And I had so many people come up to me saying they want to get back into acting, just a lot of stuff, man. But what they saw on the stage was the work. We rehearsed and rehearsed and rehearsed. Frustration, tired, couldn't even think straight.
Okay.
Some people may get it easier, but I couldn't turn back. And from the first time I walked on that stage, and that theater is packed, and I opened my mouth, all the work we did was so much worth it. Because I don't stop talking. and there's people in the audience that are August Wilson enthusiasts. So they leaning on every word. Did he miss that? Did he miss that? Did he miss? Nah, I was free, just like the wino.
Wow, that's powerful right there. To say, when you said to be free, you know how well I made this podcast because I want actors and the writers to tell how they got the characters out their head and on the paper, and the actors how they take what's on paper, apply it to their own body. It gets in their soul, and then they give it out to the audience. And I feel like Fences was that for you. And I don't think I'm wrong, right?
No, you're not wrong at all. But I will tell you this: every great actor needs a coach. If you try to do it yourself, you ain't gonna see what other people see. And I had a director that could see what I couldn't see, John Royal. And he pushed me to the edge where you just wanted to scream. I think I yelled one time. But it's all for the better. A director doesn't want you to fail. And if you're an actor, you got to get a coach. And that's anybody. I mean, I got a couple of coaches and stuff. If you try to do it by yourself, it's not going to work. Because eventually somebody going to knock you down. Because there's so many choices to make. But when you're telling a story like that, you got to really dig deep. You got to be there. You got to be that person. Yeah, it's a little bit of Clark in there, but you don't want people to see Clark. You want people to see Troy. And it was no easy task. That's why I like to be pushed. I'm doing piano lesson here in February.
That's another August Wilson, ain't it?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I have never seen that one before. I can't wait to see that.
But coming down, it's going to be at the Luby Theater, Kenny Playhouse Theater, and I'm studying now.
Okay. All right.
I forgot all about this. I was going to read tonight. I can read a little bit later, and I read till I fall asleep.
Okay.
And it's just something that happens with me when I read till I fall asleep. I get up the next morning and somehow the lines just go into my head. But that's from the work. I mean, I'm working now, but I know the director they have something else planned. I'm making my choices, but for any actor out there, listen to other people that are trying to talk to you. We don't know all as actors, because The one thing I dislike, I won't say dislike, but there's another word for it. When I can see you acting,
Okay. Explain that to the audience here. That who's watching this.
just like we talking right now, I'll ask you a question. Yo, what you doing? A person that's acting, yo, what you doing? It's just a total different. You're not real. You're not grounded. That's what grounded means. When you get these
Right.
auditions and you say, and they say keep it grounded,
Hmm.
whether it's television, film, or or even theater. Sometimes theater, depending on if you're doing a musical or whatever like that, but keeping it grounded and real means being true to yourself. How would you really say that? How would you really react to what they just told you? You if you react, if you're acting, then you really didn't listen to what that person told you
Mm.
in the scene. You're just acting. Look, I'm an actor. Hey, hey, how you doing? What time is it? You know,
No, no, no,
it's
no.
I can talk about that forever, but you see it. You can see it. When people look at television, a movie, they say, "Oh, he's a great actor." That's because he made you feel something.
Mm.
A person that's acting like they acting, you don't feel nothing.
Okay. Okay.
People come to see themselves. If you can make a person feel it, if you can make the hairs on their arms stand up, then you're doing your job. If you can make a person cry or think about their life and what's going on now in their life, and you present that, you're not acting. You're being true to it. But
I
actors
like that.
trying to act is nah. And I can look at a person, go to a play, I go to plays, and I can't look at plays now for enjoyment unless you come out the gate swinging. If you come out the gate swinging, I'm no longer looking at it for technical aspects. I'm about to enjoy the show. But if you come out there doing Shakespeare when it's a South Central play, you lost me. So it's like in a play, I'll give this little tidbit. In a play, that first minute got to snatch them.
Okay.
In an audition, that first 10 seconds got to snatch them. It's a big difference. You can't come out and
10
do a play
seconds.
and wait till the second act to be real because it's now getting deep. It was deep when you first opened your mouth. But if I got to sit there and wait for three scenes for you to start, oh, now it's getting interesting. That means everything you did in the beginning don't mean nothing. And I stay true to that. You got to come out the gate. You don't sit there and just let the ball go by. You swing for the fence every time. That's just a little tidbit. I can't give you
Wow.
everything.
No, hey, you know what? You had me thinking of Troy. I've seen Fences to Play. I've seen the movie, and both of them they got the character, and I can feel it when you talk about the scene when the Troy was talking to his son. That made me feel it. And then when him and his wife were in the backyard, I can feel it there too. And I can tell that you were there too because it's how you talk about it. In this interview, you're talking about it like you're actually him right now and saying, "Hey, it's got to be real." Because I was real. It was part of my soul at the time. And I feel like you was kind of drifting back into that role. You was
Man,
becoming that character.
that character will follow me forever. And it's like a it's like the not essence, but the preparation. It's all about the preparation. And if you got a good surrounding cast and you prepare, if you halfway dilly dally, if you don't get tired and want to cry working on a role like that, you're doing it for nothing.
Mm,
Because this man, he's no longer with us, put together something so beautiful. Give it its due. Give it its due. And that's with any part. Now, you heard me talk about small parts. There's no small parts.
hmm
I can't do that right now as far as a play. I do that now in television and film because I'm earning my stripes.
hmm
But whatever you do, you got to give it. I don't care if you got one line. Now I'm basically talking film and TV. You
hmm
got to give it,
Right.
not overdo it. Oh, he acted. No, it's got to be real. And people understand real when it hits them.
Absolutely.
They know fake.
Absolutely.
They know fake when it hit them too.
Just how you could tell when someone's trying to, you know, lie to you, run a play on you, trying to throw some words here or there, try to throw you off. You can tell that when you see a, uh, an average product on the film, a good product, and a great product. Right? You can see it. I'm sure you
Yeah,
can see it right now. Yeah.
yeah. When I started acting, I looked at TV differently.
Mm.
And
Oh,
how so?
yeah.
Because before acting, I just looked at it for entertainment. But when you become an actor, you look at TV differently. You look at films differently. You look at plays differently, especially when you're deep into the craft,
Okay.
and you can be, oh yeah, uh, for real. That's the for real is like you acting, but it's like, oh, you was real every time you open your mouth.
Okay.
Unless you're doing a comedy, but I like dramas.
Okay.
I like suspense. I like drama. That's what I'm into.
Right. Right.
I don't do musicals. I can dance a little bit, but I might twist an
There you
ankle.
go.
I can sing a little bit, but I got to be back there with the choir.
I got you. I got you. Just real quick here, I want you to explain your experience on a Chicago TV show to the audience here.
Chicago PD. Okay. Um, the first time I auditioned for it, I got it. I went up to Little Chicago. Hey, oh my goodness, I'm still trying to get that scene. They cut it from the show. I had a watch party in New York.
hmm
I told everybody, people on Facebook, yo, when you coming on? My phone blowing up. Yo, we ain't see you yet. I said, it's coming, it's coming. Next thing you know, credits.
Mm.
That taught me something, and it was a learning experience in the craft and what we do. Your scene could get cut. They came back again. And when I went up there the second time, they remembered me. And the writer was like, the first person I saw when I got up there, I'm so sorry they cut your scene. They remembered that.
Mm.
It was a great scene. I'm still trying to get it. They ain't sent it to me yet.
Oh,
But the second time, it was beautiful, man. It was like, it was exciting. It was like I just fit in.
okay.
Everybody was nice. And they treated me like I was one of the regulars. I'm looking at everybody's trailer and everything. I have my own little trailer. And this comes to the part where there's no little parts. Because when you get into television, there's no little parts, as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
And it got to the point where this is just the way I am. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. They're like, go ahead with your bad self. And that's the way it is. You got to have confidence, but not be cocky.
Right.
You don't want to step on nobody's toes in that business. And it was a wonderful feeling, man. That I came back twice. I mean, I've auditioned for Chicago Fire a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes when it's not right, it's just not right. But when it is, it is. And for everybody out there that do a lot of auditions, I'm a salesman by trade. It's a numbers game. The more people you call, the more people you contact, the more sales you get. And it's the same thing with auditions.
Okay.
The more auditions you do, the more people see you. And every now and then, you're going to get a bone. Don't give up. Think about what you did that you didn't get the last one. But don't overthink it. Just keep it real. Because sometimes when people audition, now I'm giving you some more clues.
Bring them
I teach auditions. Some people read the audition sides. And for y'all that don't know, the sides or the papers that they give you with your scenes on them, you see a period, you see a comma, you see a question mark. Don't nobody talk like that. First thing you need to do is get rid of all of that. You see something in all caps, don't mean yell. Because guess what? If you do it, the other 50 people is doing the same thing you doing. So you don't stand out. Get rid of all the punctuation because that's the way we talk as African Americans, and even the Anglo-Saxons, white people, black people. We talk in a different rhythm. And depending on the character, you got to be able to adjust to that rhythm. Oh, this is what I think they want. They told me to laugh right here. So I'm going to laugh. But the laugh was fake as hell. It wasn't genuine. It wasn't a real laugh. You just laughed because you saw it in the script. What you laughing about? Because what you said wasn't funny. Because you didn't deliver it. You see what I'm saying?
I do. Yeah, you can't be fake. They're going to find fake.
You can see it every day. If I say, okay, he want me to laugh like here. Nah, I'm going to laugh 2 sentences down. And then if you got a good reader, which I train my readers.
Okay.
What's so funny? Nah, I'm talking about the thing I said earlier. Don't miss that. I went right back to it. Think about what I just said. It said laugh here, but I laughed 2 lines later. And I got my reader to train. Whoever's reading with me, I'm going to train them. No matter what I say, You keep going. If you want to improvise with me, then do it. But don't you dare stop and say, well, that's not what it says. I don't give a damn.
That's
Why you laughing here? What's so funny? Man, remember I told that's when the laughter comes in.
mm-hmm.
2 sentences later. Man, I was still thinking about that other shit. And that's how we
That's so
are as
real.
people. I mean, you walk
That's real.
around, sometimes you can start laughing and be like, what's so funny? Nah, I was just thinking about something. It's real. I'm telling you the truth. It's hard to teach because a lot of actors are scared to jump off the ledge. They want to be so perfect and get everything right, stop at every period, stop at every comma. When there's a question mark, they want to ask a question. We do it every day. You know what I'm saying? And then we just keep moving. Now, you know what I'm saying was a question, but I wasn't looking for no answer.
Mm-hmm.
Think
Yeah,
about it.
I like that. Um, just because I'm not gonna go into blocking. I like where we're at right here. But when I guess when you're training people, are you training them based off what you know, or are you training them based off of what you think they need to know, like going further? Like I know you're still learning too, but is it something that
Never stop learning.
okay?
But go ahead.
But you're not like training them like, okay, this is what the book said. You train them like we're sitting on the block and we're talking to each other and you're trying to get that. How do you get the comma? Not the comma. How do you get the question marks out the head so they don't stop when it says stop? And how do you train the people to do that? The actors to do that?
If I'm taping somebody's audition and they think we practicing, I'm recording. Because as soon as the light come on, they want to act different. I'm recording. I was like, let's run this 3 times. Don't worry about nothing. Let's just run it. If you say something, I don't care what you do. Just say it. Let's just run it. If you're not off book meaning you don't have everything in memory, I don't care. Say what you gotta say.
Okay.
So I'm not teaching, I'm teaching them from my experience that everything is not book related. I've never had the opportunity to go to any school for training. I think I had 1 week of training. And then the second week I was in New York acting. So I never had any classes. Um, I had one class with Jesse James LaCour, but then I was gone. It was a 4 week class. The second week I was gone to New York to act. What I will tell people and how I tell them, stop thinking about it. Be truthful. That's Meisner. I mean, I've read a lot of books, but a friend told me read all of them. I was reading everything because I had no training. And the best advice he ever gave to me was, now forget about it.
Mm.
And I have traveled the world. I grew up in Harlem, Marine Corps. I've been everywhere. Israel, where they fighting now, all over the place. Wasn't thinking about acting, but I got a chance to see different things. And a lot of people don't get that. So for a person first coming out of school, I would teach them to go to their inner self when they're sitting in their room and they're fantasizing. When I came up, we used to play doctor, with the little girls. I don't think they do that now. They all fast and all of that now. But some of the youngins and either older people, they fantasize. Bring it to the camera. Don't think about it. Be that person that if I was a cop, I would have done this. If I was a doctor, I'd do this. If I can go back to the school, I'd be this. If I was an actor, I'd do this. Do it. Do it. So I taught a lot of people. Some of them get scared. And I understand the fear. You have to have a little fear to move forward. There's a few of us that have no fear and we just go. But you got to be able to have the fear and no fear, but be able to take direction. And that's the biggest, that's a pet peeve of mine. If a director tells you to do this and you can't do it, you out. You gotta be ready to adapt. You gotta improvisation is key. Sometimes you can do it because you got worldly experience. But if you ain't got nothing to draw off on, you can't improvise. So I suggest taking classes, improvise classes, and just being around other people and listening to their life experiences. And it'll help you if you're really into this. Because everything's not technical. 1, 2, 3, 4. You got to be able to go 1, 4, 2, 3.
I love that.
You got to get the curveballs. Everything ain't a fastball.
Absolutely. Well, let me do this. This has been wonderful. There's so many gems in here. I don't even know where to count. I'm pretty sure whoever's going to be watching this from young to a little older will be definitely be inspired by the details of the characters that you portray, your experiences with the characters, and also how to get into character and use what the script says, but then you got to bleed it into yourself, into a realization of how people want to see it because they want the truth. They want to see themselves and give that back to them when you get into that character.
Now,
and I feel like,
I'll give you one example. A friend of mine, Eric Williams, we used to go everywhere. I said, we need to start showing our face, going to readings and places like this. So I had done so many auditions, but I couldn't book. So the Atlanta audition came up with Childish Gambino and Keith Stanfield. And I told my boy Eric, I said, man, I ain't booked nothing. I'm about to do something different. So I'm already a rapper, so I write. I wrote a joke in the audition. I switched it up. He said, don't do it. I said, shit, it's going down. I added my little tidbit. Got the call 2 days later. So it's okay to jump off the ledge. It is very much okay. You don't have to stick to everything that's there. But if they know what you're talking about, oh yeah, it's beautiful.
Right.
If you know the lines, if you don't know the lines, then you got to stick to the script. Light bulb. But if you do know the lines, you can do whatever you want with them for an audition. What sense it make to audition if you don't know the lines? you got to know them like the back of your hand. Because if you got to know your part, the other person part, and when they say go, you can do whatever you want because you know what you're doing. But if you like, well, what I'm saying is,
No.
you lost.
Okay.
And it was one other thing. Oh, um, I'm not promoting this, but I play Regina King's father in a movie. And I did the callback audition on Zoom. I said it. And they was like, thank you. So being Clark, I said, hold up. Would you mind if I do it one more time my way? Oh, sure, go ahead. This is what I put the hot sauce on it. Booked it.
Okay. Wow.
He gave me every direction you can give me. I followed his direction, but I did not feel good about it. When you do it your way, you loosen up. You loosen up and you just let them have it. I said, damn the script. I got the script, knew it backwards. But I'm doing it what you're telling me to do. Because you know, if somebody's telling you to do something, you want to give it what they want. But at the end, I said, would you mind if I do it one more time my way? That was it. Lights out.
Perfect.
And that's for anybody out here that's trying to act. I mean, it's just like, if you auditioning for something, do one take their way and do it your way. And you'll find out that your way is not stiff. That's it.
I love it. I'm going to end it with that. We're just going to end it with that because that's a very strong point. And this is for any actor. You know, sometimes you got to loosen up. You got to do it your way. And when you got that script, you can make that choice. Say that to the director. And the director's going to feel your seriousness. Be like, okay, I want to see it. And I never heard that before.
Damn.
But you just learn that.
Mute that. Don't give people my stuff.
I can edit that. I can cut that if I need to cut it. But anyway, again, thank you for definitely coming on here, saying exactly what you have said. I've gotten so much from you. I think that anybody that will sit here, it'll make the weakest person in the world get stronger. It'll make the regular actor get better because of the things that you have said.
Thank you.
And I just really believe in you and your talent. That's why I wanted you on here. And I was willing to do just about anything to get this interview with you. And I appreciate that. Again, I thank you. And I just want to do my wrap here. And I'm going to say, again, thank you so much. Salute you for everything you do. I'm going to follow your page. And also, before we wrap, tell me how can people find you?
I have a website I built. www.clarkaharris.com. Or look me up on Instagram as Clark Harris. Facebook, Clark Harris.
Perfect.
Twitter, Clark Harris. Everything's Clark Harris.
Yeah.
But it's cool. It's a work in progress.
Perfect. Again, thank you for coming on here. And my last and closing words is sometimes you got to do it your way so you can be able to do things your way.
I did it my way.
Man, I appreciate it. All right, audience. appreciate you coming on here, and definitely for those who want to ask any questions, you can contact him. He gave his his handles, he gave his website, and if you want to reach me, you know where to reach me directly on YouTube and on Instagram.
Or
Until
hit
I
me up
speak to
on Facebook or Instagram. I'm not hard to find. Ain't too many people look like me, talk like me, drink like me.
there we go. My drinking partner. I feel you. I feel you. But again, thank you so much. And until I speak to y'all again, peace, everybody.